Today is day 1 of 3 shoots in a row, and we did not get enough sleep last night. And my dog is acting up. Gonna be using pretty much all the gear on this one. So you guys pretty much know how I build out these cases, but we got the GH6 as a B cam with some lenses in the backpack. We got all my stands and tripods and whatnot in the hard shell case. Talent today is using a teleprompter, so I've got that set up. I have to put the script on my iPad, and got the A cam already built out, V-mount battery, monitor, hard drive to shoot to, microphone, all the good stuff ready to go, so I can just plop it on the tripod and get to work. Also, before I even bring you guys along for the shoot, I'm not walking the dog right now, and the weather in Georgia is whack, man. It's like not even 8 a.m. 75 degrees and it's humid. Like I can literally feel this shirt sticking to me. So they gotta fix that, because why did I move here? So this is one of those video projects that I had first talked about with my supervisor in the marketing department. Here we have our theater general manager, Allison, doing a quick run-through rehearsal of the script and the teleprompter, and we are announcing next season's Broadway lineup. My goal here was to shoot a video that feels a little bit more elevated, that we can use not only organically, but also in our paid campaigns, and really be able to track the return on investment, how many people are clicking on these paid videos and then purchasing tickets, so that I can go back and say, hey, this video yielded X number of dollars of revenue and we should do more. And the only reason this project took so long to come into fruition was because our current Broadway season didn't end until this past month. So it really took a little bit to lock in the shows for next season and come up with the script and get everybody on board for a time and day that we could shoot. Also, I want to shout out my buddy Steven Turner, because he lent me his Sennheiser MKE 600 shotgun mic, which came in clutch on this shoot because my Rode Wireless Go decided to stop working altogether. I met Steven through my job here at the Classic Center, and I really appreciate all the help he's given me. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later on in this video, so keep on watching. Thanks, bud. All right, so I just finished up a second day of filming at the Classic Center. I did some vendor setup for a wedding that we have going on. I do not shoot weddings at all. That is one area that I am not a fan of being responsible for the video. But I did say that I would come in and shoot the setup, just highlighting some of the package options that we offer our wedding clients. I also took some photos for our sales rep who handles the weddings, just so she had a bigger portfolio to draw from when she's pitching to clients. I didn't really take any behind the scenes because I forgot that we had some graduations going on campus, and I was scrambling to find a parking spot. I'm actually in our loading dock. I only had a small window of time before the ceremony started, so I had to get in, do what I had to do, and get out. So I was rushing around, but it was pretty fun. It was different sort of content for me, but it felt very similar to some of the birth center B-roll that I've captured in the past. Sort of that like moving portrait, so to speak. So feel good about it. And on to day 3 tomorrow. Before I dive more into day 3, let me help set the scene just a little bit. So I recently started an Athens area filmmakers group on my Instagram. There's about 20 of us in there right now, but I was inspired to do this because of David Moorfield, who's another videographer and YouTuber, and he has been able to build this crazy network all across the country. And while I'm in the Atlanta area filmmakers group, what I found was a lot of the Athens filmmakers and videographers that I know are out there, because I know some of them. There wasn't really a community for us to sort of like get involved in and work with each other, you know, pass out jobs or like bring people onto our jobs, things like that. So I took it upon myself to create this group. There's about 20 of us now, and Steven, who I mentioned earlier in the video and had connected with at the Classic Center, he is actually the one that reached out to me about this day 3 shoot. An editor friend of his had contacted him. He couldn't take on the shoot, so he reached out to me And I was then in turn able to use the group to source a second cam op for the day because I knew I was going to need it. And so even just that little bit, we haven't even had our first official meetup yet, but just that little bit of networking has gone a really long way, and I think is going to lead to some really cool stuff down the line. I was also able to use the group to hire essentially a production studio to come and shoot a musical at the Classic Center because they have experience doing that. And I do not, so it's going to be like a whole 5 cam setup potentially. And just they're going to do the works, and it's going to be awesome to see. And I'm glad that I was able to be a part of that and help connect those people and build those bridges. I'm going to stop rambling now so you can see what day 3 was all about, but I just wanted to share that this day 3 would not have been possible without that group. So it's pretty cool. As always, we stay buckled up for safety, and this shoot was actually the main reason that I had borrowed the shotgun mic from Steven. I knew we were going to need some on-site audio, and with my Rode Wireless Go's acting up, I didn't really want to use them. Plus, I didn't really want to take the time to mic somebody up for the day. So this mic was absolutely instrumental to have on set. This is Mark. He was my second shooter for the day. We were at Sanford Stadium, home of the UGA Bulldogs, and we were filming a private tour. He was an absolute treat to have on set. He was really good at directing these folks to do a sort of posed shot that we knew we needed, but helped to make it look candid. This was a really cool experience because it was my first time inside of Sanford Stadium. I've lived in Athens 10 months, and I haven't really had the chance to go to a UGA Bulldogs game or tour the stadium, but we got to see everything. The suites, the club boxes, we got to go down on the field, we got to go in the locker room. Very cool. And this organization was just really fun to be around. It's a ton of families who have neurodivergent or non-speaking family members that get overstimulated by certain stimuli like screaming and cheering or loud noises at a football game. So they don't really get to have a lot of good days or fun experiences. So this was a way for them to be able to experience something that they've really loved in a more controlled environment and in a controlled setting. And it was a blast to get to witness. Really grateful to be a part of it. And you'll see here in a second that we were interviewing some of the family members and some of the event organizers on the field. It was a really bright day, so we had the sun behind them. It was a super run and gun shoot, so we didn't have a 5-in-1 reflector or anything like that. But I ran the A cam here for their on-field interview. Mark was my B cam, and more of like a tight shot on each of their individual faces. And I am curious, for those of you who are in the documentary space that are working with people telling really emotional, visceral, raw stories, how do you regulate your emotions between, letting yourself feel the moment and the story that they're telling? Because honestly, some of these people are pretty good storytellers, and you can get caught up in it, right? But then you also have to stay locked in and be able to figure out, okay, what point am I focusing in on? What question am I going to ask next? How am I going to draw more information out from them? I'm really curious how y'all do it, because during this interview, I found myself getting a little emotional, and I almost wasn't able to pull myself out of it to be able to ask the next question or draw the next point. So let me know what you guys do down in the comments below.